can at least have some form of bar to use anyway. So how's it going? Yo, Ghost.
Hello?
How's it going?
Tired.
I hear that.
Oh god, I didn't actually sleep last night.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, dude, I've been really tired all day. Tomorrow's about to be the fifth of 5 days in a row I work. So, you want to wait for more people to join before you just debate, or do you want to just start debating? Oh, Corn just arrived. Okay, so, uh,
No.
you want to go ahead and start debating?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with doing this anyway. You want the Vex are scan heavy anyway, so it take us too long to go and get every scan, since like over half our arguments overlap since the two axis mind Vex anyway. So I'm fine with doing it however you want. So I guess let's start with what we agree with most before we get into like any contention of the sort. Uh, First, we agree that they have a biological resistance to fate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We also agree that they have a biological resistance to causality and causality minute, right? Like they're causal creatures, but they can deal with those types more easily.
Yeah, they should have a reactive uh
But
adaptation.
we literally had to go and nerf the sanctified mind as an example, even though that would be like a red herring at its foremost conclusion. So that's an
Yeah.
example of Avex doing it at least. So I'd say we agree with that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess premise three then. We agree that they resist reality warping. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Premise four. We agree they resist law manip. Yes.
Yeah, they should be with demiurge.
Okay. So premise five, as a result, would be subjective reality, which we'd agree with that definitely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, all right. So premise six means regardless of the power difference, Thanos snapping each other doesn't work. That's agreeable. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, now do you want to get into your scaling for Atheon?
Uh yeah. So for Atheon, he is basically the Vault of Glass.
Oh yeah.
And the
Oh
Vault of
yeah. Yeah. You're going to use the vault argument then House of Wolves, right?
yeah, I'm gonna use this scan from actually the from OG.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and give me the argument then, so that VC can follow.
Okay. So would you agree that the Vex have a true form, the abstract form?
Yes. I remember several of our conversations on the topic actually. It's what I said about the sanctified mind since it turned to stone.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So we're in agreement on that.
so Atheon was basically designed to basically be a subtract of that subtract.
Okay.
So it's like he was designed to be more fundamental in his abilities and his powers by
Okay.
using the process of the Vex of the what do you call it, vote of glass,
Okay. Okay.
which is
So
essentially
so your argument is that he's more fundamental in Axis mind. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, 'cause he is the Vex space that it's more of a ontological.
Okay.
It's an
Okay.
ontological
So
thing.
now I want to get this out of the way before we get into any contention here. Are you trying to argue is our debate true form both sides or what we fought both sides?
I would say true form.
You you would rather not say true form or you rather would?
I, I, I would.
Okay. So all right, good. I didn't want to run into a contradiction. All right, cool. All right, so here's my opinion then. Panoptes is an equal mind because the version of Panoptes we fought, uh, now remember because their scaling is the same regardless of the tiers we're arguing them in. So whatever I argue for Panoptes and power is going to apply for the difference in the true forms also, which I don't think is even debatable. Uh, I'll make the difference here. So first, you remember when Oryx took Atheon and like we had a fight that taken Atheon?
Yeah,
Okay. Do we consider that canon for the sake of discussion or no?
I would consider it canon.
Okay. We'll go with that. So now, would you say that's a stronger Atheon than what we fought in the vault?
Yes, I would due to what do you call it? Oryx's power to take,
Okay.
which enhances
So
them.
Atheon would directly scale below Oryx, and then we fought and beat Oryx. Okay. So I'm fine with that. Now, you agree with me on this? How like Destiny One up to like Curse of Osiris is like high up reversal, right?
Say again?
Okay, you know how we had about 12 or so discussions on like high hyperversal stopping at like Curse of Osiris?
Yeah.
So now I'm not arguing 1A Panoptes here, but I'm saying that the MC is probably at the pinnacle of high hyperversal if the fire team wasn't when they fought Atheon. Uh Now I say if the fire team wasn't, because I'm also saying when I say that they probably could be. But I think that the main character, by the time they fought Panoptes, was on par with that same fire team. That same fire team would then outscale that taking Atheon, or we go with the other argument, which I think is the case that the Atheon we fought is stronger than the one in the vault, so we outscale Atheon, and to support that, we outscaled physical orcs. So the same main character had to go and hit like a weak point of Panoptes. Panoptes ignored our attacks entirely.
Mm.
So now I'm not saying Panoptes at all scales to the court of Oryx. I'm not gonna argue that. Well, specific members of the court of Oryx since it's debatable, but uh, I'm not saying Panoptes scales to them. But I am willing to say that Panoptes is going to bitch slap Crota, the one we killed, if they fought. What's your response to that argument?
Mm. Hmm. Um, my reply to that would be okay. So remember when the Vex were afraid of Ulrich's taking over the vote,
Yeah,
and they needed to come save him.
yeah.
So here's my I would say that the vote itself is very it's fundamental to the Vex's existence,
Right,
and that
but so is the Infinite
right.
Forest.
I would say that it would be more, and here's why. Here's why. Uh, Orcs was sending out taking that was threatening not just uh like the local Vex, but all Vex across all space and time.
Okay, but how do we know that? First off, when Oryx came to the star system, it was after Atheon was killed. So it wouldn't even include Atheon. In part of that Vex naturally as a statement because of the chronology of it. Second, how do we know that statement would apply to Panoptes specifically at that point? When Panoptes was doing its own thing, and we know by now that Panoptes could have just ran away from orcs and hid it the entire time.
Well, for one, it wasn't just the Vex Collective. It was the pattern itself that was basically afraid of orcs.
Okay, so do you want to hear my response to it?
Okay.
Do you want to hear my response to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how Paraverse Orcs is really, really strong? Since Paraverse Crota is really, really strong?
Yeah.
The Vex Collective is using Orcs from other realities as well as a measuring stick. The reason why I say this is because the specific version of Paraverse Crota we fought would scale below Oryx in the same vein that the Crota we fought would scale below Oryx. So it might just be Paraverse Oryx or some other version of Oryx that they're more terrified of. They wouldn't have even realized that Oryx was nerfed due to his compassion nerf and other shit, if we want to say that's on the table.
Um.
they can't even emulate him anyway. Korea failed.
I'll answer with this. What was attacking the Vex? It wasn't orcs directly. It was a taking Vex. But taking Vexes are basically aspects of orcs.
Right, right.
So
The taking are an Oryx's image.
yeah,
Yeah, that's agreed upon. They're modeled after the final shape.
yeah, they're more or less like aspects of his greater being.
Okay, so here's my whole thing. They're afraid of the Taken because of hacks, and because they fought the Taken in other realities. Because we know the darkness wins in about every other reality. So the Vex have had time to learn about the Taken. So the Vex in this reality use the information from those realities to then put together the conclusion that they're in a predicament. And as we know, they ran away and wasn't able to be invaded fully since, besides like the blistering echo strike and maybe a few other occurrences. So here's
Um,
okay. Here's what I'm saying. Right. Uh, the Paraverse somewhat tells us about what the Vex are looking at when they go to other timelines. You get what I'm saying? The Paraverse is what the Vex go through. I don't mean like other video games and other stuff. I mean like the other timelines within Destiny. Like the shit we're seeing in there is what they have to deal with constantly, unendingly. Why wouldn't they be afraid of orcs who could possibly do the same if not surpass them if he had enough time? Why wouldn't that be scary? It's like fearing a universal being, not because he's gonna one shot the universe, but because he can do it over time. You know what I mean?
um, let me. Yeah, I get what you mean, but so during the mission, it was rather urgent that we help the Vex, and it was not as in like a over. It didn't seem like an overtime
Yeah.
corruption,
You're
but
talking
rather,
about the old captain quest line. I remember that.
and they from what do you call him? Pratif, yeah, Pratif. He was in the votes while they were coming,
Mm-hmm.
and he was basically explaining their fear, explaining how they were afraid.
Yeah. So what's the specific lore you want to bring up as your point? Like the one you're trying to argue with.
So
Sorry, continue.
what I'm arguing here basically the aspect of orcs
You cut
is
out. I'm sorry. Can you restate what you said in the last 10 seconds?
hello.
Yeah, you cut off. Can you restate what you said in the last 10 seconds? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Uh, so what I'm saying is the taking Hydra, which is the aspect of orcs. Um, that's my train of thought.
You
Ugh.
were bringing up a piece of lore and like how it works is threatening the Vex, and you were gonna reply to my question on the subject.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is that the an aspect of orcs, which is this Vex mind, was corrupt. It was literally going to just it was going to it threatened the Vex collective, and this Vex itself is described as like a negative space,
Do you hold on? Do
and we
you
know that
but do you know why that was threatening the Vex though?
because it was going to take them all.
Right. See, here's the thing. Really, they're all puppets of Oryx, right? So here's what I'm saying. The Vex and other timelines already put together what taking was and what the fuck was happening to them. They're thinking that either, depending on the metric we'd use in the hypothetical that we'd be applying here, that either that Vex mind or taken Vex mind would either be stronger or weaker than what they thought it was. Why would they want to be around something when Atheon in the vault was already killed and the Gorgons are worthless because either they're killed off or they're fucking off and doing their own thing? Let's fuck off. Like
Well, the thing is,
why would anyone want to be around that if like their gods are dead? There'd be no way of killing it.
it's it's not that they're gonna be around. It's that the vault itself is connected to them.
Yeah, it's that here's the thing. The Vex in the in the infinite realities are part of the metaconsciousness, right? So why it's called spiraling metaconsciousness. The only steps they take us toward to the future. So the Vex in the different realities would scaled, disproportionate as do perverse characters. The Vex in this reality happen to not really have the tools that would allow them to challenge that mind, but Panoptes would. It's that Panoptes has a very specific job in the Infinite Forest, which is to find the Dark Future. So ignoring Panoptes, no one would be able to challenge the mind and kill it. They'd have to evacuate the area, otherwise they'd be contributing to Oryx's forces. And also, that happens after we kill Atheon, and then after not Dark Blow, although Dark Blow happens before, but regardless, it happens after House of Wolves when Skolas tried to do the same thing and take over the vault, possibly other timelines.
Mm,
That's why you saw
but
no Vex around.
we have, but we also have another example of the taking being a rather dangerous threat.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's the argument I was making though. Uh, they can forcefully add to their own. And because they're paracausal, it's something the Vex literally have no counter to. It'd be like playing rock paper scissors, but you always got rock, so they can just hit you with paper all the time, and there'd be no way to get around it because that's the rules of cause and effect. The Taken can manipulate that because they're paracausal. So it's essentially kryptonite to them. Why would they want to go up against their own kryptonite? That's the argument I was making to explain why they're a threat to the Vex.
okay, and here's my argument to that. In what do you call it? I one of the Destiny missions, the taking we had to stop the taking before they threatened the Vex, and they were
Oh,
not
you're
just
talking
going
about
to
Io, right?
yeah, talking about Io because they were going to infect not just the Vex from um this reality, but thousands and thousands of other realities.
Yeah, that's I brought up the blistering echo earlier. That's what Savathun did specifically. Now remember, Savathun did this because she had her connection to Korea. She lost her connection to the Vex and the Taken when she lost Korea. So there is context with that, even if you want to use that as an example. I can literally just
That's
appeal. I can literally appeal the season of the Splicer as a blatant example of this with the Endless Night.
that I would still
That's
yeah, I
where
would still say that's an example because it shows that the Vex when their systems like infected, it's not just going to be infecting just this reality, but all.
right, exactly, because it'd be affecting other realities. The Vex in this time will have no way to challenge that. Would not be around or would be absorbed. I'm not. I'm. The point that the point that I'm trying to make here though is that with the Taken, again, it's like a game of rock paper scissors. The Vex always lose because the Taken can always manipulate the outcome. Not only can they manipulate the outcome, they also had a master in the form of Savathun, who is channeling her control over the Taken, which is where her title, the Taken Queen, came from when Nakra said it. And the same goes for the Vex. Whenever Korea went and took control of them, he literally took control of every Vex within the timeline. It wasn't just the ones dealing with the Endless Night. That's why Korea was a threat. So we can again make the same example to someone like Korea, because we already knew Savathun was already aware of the video game anyway. So we knew Savathun at some point would use Korea for something like other realities if she had her way. So it falls under the same vein regardless.
Mm.
See, here's my point. We already agreed on 6 premises on hacks. My argument for Panoptes is that I'm not going to out hacks you. I'm going to fucking kill you by beating you to death with scaling. It's going to take a long time, an infinite amount of time because they're Vex, and we're using Vex battle assumptions here. But within that infinite, which is to them a finite amount of time, Panoptes is going to win. That's what I'm saying. They're going to beat each other up. But the problem is Panoptes scales ahead enough, because remember, Panoptes doesn't just outscale the fire team, he also outscales Axis Prime and the Archon Priest. Uh, or the Siva Splicer Priest. Panoptes outscales them as well as outscaling Light Gull. Now we could always have a discussion about Light Gull and whether or not he scales the Axis Prime. I think he's in the same ballpark personally, but it's still debatable. But the point is, we have enough buffers between us that we can make the argument that Panoptes outscales Atheon. Because if you recall, when we killed Panoptes, it's because Osiris forcefully basically opened up Panoptes. Whereas, say, with Atheon, we were around Atheon in power. We had to generate enough power before we could use that Fate Manip. That even then he resisted, which is what is only 30 seconds to him, which is a very very finite amount of time, which is very very short. So why you
Well, we
can make the
use
so you can make an argument about how he killed Atheon. It still follows the same vein that Atheon scales below Oryx, because taking Atheon scales above Atheon, and taking Atheon is under Oryx. Panoptes would be under the physical Oryx, or excuse me, Panoptes scales above the physical Oryx we fought.
the thing is that how we killed Athon is also the power of Kabir. Without Kabir's shit,
Well, yeah,
we wouldn't
we were
have
amped.
beaten him.
Well, yeah, we were amped, but the result of the amp is that like a super mega gargantuan like narrative potency fate hacks, Atheon resisted, it turns out. That's what the result of the Vault of Glass is. It's the after effect of everything else. We're essentially the second team. I'm aware of it. I know. Uh, Actually, by that same vein, you know when Vile the Disciple role can like summon all the Fate artifacts, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, just imagine the rogue scaling with that alone. Like, just think about it for a second. Like, the motherfucker can like do this shit just by saying, "Do it, bitch." Like, how funny is
Works at a
that?
whole different level.
Yeah, dude, fucking. I'm gonna be so excited when the witness, like when we fight the witness. It's literally gonna be like fucking Secret Wars or some shit that like goes even further than that. Uh, it's gonna be hella nuts. But going back to the debate though, uh, I still don't think what you have is able to hold up to the fact that Panoptes can literally beat physical Oryx to a bloody pulp.
Mm.
Because remember, we could do literally nothing to Panoptes, and Panoptes outright one-shotted us. And that was like, that's in Curse of Osiris. And I think that like at that point is where the MC is at the highest of their high hyperversal scaling before they eventually become 1A, sometime after that fight. And you haven't really contradicted my premise, really, in any meaningful way that I haven't been able to bat away with arguments or arguments.
Mm. Let me think here. Um, mm,
But
uh, okay. Let's see. So the main thing for Panoply, so you're saying that he's going to kill him, but it's going to take like a 1,000 years.
it's gonna take whatever time the Vex measure things by. Like by their metric, Panoptes is gonna kill Atheon in a finite to infinite amount of time. But the point is, Atheon's eventually going to die, since Panoptes outscales Atheon in terms of an adaptation, as we saw in the Dark Future. Like I'm saying, if okay, have you read the latest One Punch Man chapter?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's gonna be like this. Saitama is eventually gonna one shot. It's gonna take a really long time from now. We wouldn't be able. I couldn't give you that time since the series didn't give us the time. But the point is, it wasn't like when it was gonna happen. It was that dude. Saitama is eventually gonna fucking kill this man with one punch. Truly, I'm saying something of that same thing is gonna happen with Panoptes. Panoptes is gonna outscale Atheon to such a degree that he'll be able to kill Atheon if his invulnerability. Uh, I actually, no, I'm just gonna say it straight up. Panoptes is gonna outscale Atheon's invulnerability. He's gonna kill Atheon. And it's gonna take longer because of the invulnerability, but he's gonna outscale it enough to be able to kill Atheon.
hmm.
It's like this. Star Platinum is gonna like beat up the world until like the world explodes into pieces.
But Star Platinum wouldn't be able to touch Atheon.
No, but the point is Star Platinum uses AP and like JoJo shit. I'm saying Panoptes is going to do something of the same thing, where he's going to use scaling to kill Atheon.
Uh,
Now remember, I also brought up the Dark Future as an alternative when I said he'll be able to outscale Atheon in adaptation. So it's going to be one or the other. Either like Panoptes is going to out AP Atheon and it can kill him that way, or he's going to adapt and kill Atheon that other way. So you're kind of fighting a war on two fronts here.
hmm. Uh, I guess let me take on the adaption one first.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to say that Atheon's uh, ability to sidestep causality will allow him to improve his adaptation.
Right, but Panoptes managed to level the entirety of the light itself, which even Atheon couldn't do. And this is the dark future, so this is way ahead of even now.
Mm. Wait a minute. Hold up. Uh,
By the way, there's a commentary chat if anyone wants to go text some commentary.
um, hmm. Da-da.
Well, okay. I guess the first
Wait,
thing.
wait, 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 wait.
Okay. Here's the first thing we're gonna want to hit. Uh, okay. What about the Atheon scaling that I gave? With Oryx. You want to try to hit that first?
Um, I'm gonna try to say this first. Um, I would say that Atheon is in the past, present, and future. So, uh,
Well, by that
and
same
like
vein, so
Panop,
is Panoptes. Panoptes also
yeah,
exist only in the
and,
present.
and like Panoptes, he gets reborn.
Well, think about it like this, right? That'd just be like premise 7, where we agree that they'd be able to do that. And then premise 8 would be the revival. I'm saying in like a straight up fight between these two, not like with the conclusion we'd reach with Vic's battle assumptions, but like in a very specific this case fight, more so as the context here. And the way I provided the scaling. Uh, and also, I said prior to this that the scaling remains the same regardless of the hierarchy, as we'd have to determine the scaling of their lower forms to determine the true form scaling. But you never contradicted that either, and you're in fact in agreement with that. I know that for sure because we discussed that very concept previously.
Mm. Well,
Dude, you're
ugh,
roboting.
a robot,
Yeah, okay. Try again.
huh?
Try again. Go ahead.
No, 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 I got nothing.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh god,
alright. So, is that a concession?
yeah, it's
Alright. GG. That was a really good talk. That was like a whole 33 minutes. We managed to stretch it